Hi everybody. Hi everybody. My dad is about to go to bed and my mom is about to go to bed, so I gotta try to keep this kind of calm and try to keep it kind of cool. But what are we doing? We are on comic book resources and we're gonna be talking about something very interesting within the comic book universe. Today we're gonna be talking about one of the cast members from Friends actually secretly played a forgotten side character 1 year before their official abuse. Alright. Okay. Article remains reference the suicide. Aside from the six core characters Rachel, Phoebe, Joey, Monica, Chandler, and Ross, the cast of Friends is vast in a lot of roles that bring depth to the narrative, whilst others add a bit of humor. This show dives into the lives of 20-something-year-olds, but more specifically about Phoebe. She's always portrayed to be the most unusual of the six. She's very eccentric and is celebrated by her friends for her own songs, which never fail to include controversial lyrics. She's a musician and, again, spirited to be one. The saddest story of Phoebe is her relationship with her family. She and her sister Ursula, who's also played by her, whom she doesn't get on with too well. But audiences learn that her dad, Frank, has abandoned her when Phoebe was young, and the woman that took Phoebe thought to be her mother, Lily Buffet, had taken her own life, and Phoebe went on to live on the streets. Phoebe later met her real mom, Phoebe Abbott, and spent some time with her. They found out that Phoebe Abbott was actually given her and Ursula up for adoption. She wasn't prepared for a mom to be a mom, so Phoebe's tough upbringing gave definition to her character and information she drops in conversations from here to there. Life's on the streets led her to unfortunate connections, which Ross has dated back to when she was a teenager. Also, Ross has also recounted that he saw a time where she didn't condone her actions, for she was very deeply apologetic for every time she's hung out with the friends. The complexity and complication of her sadness in her own story, but the series shows the making connections that bring some peace to those who are more unfortunate than we are. One of those getting acquainted was the half-brother she never knew she had. Although fans did not meet her brother until season 2, they actually kind of seen this person before. Okay, so this guy has an unnamed role in season 2. Okay, we're busy. We're busy first appeared in season 2, episode 6, the one with the baby on the bus. Chandler and Joey had been entrusted with looking after Ben after Ross had an allergic reaction to Monica's kiwi lime pie. The siblings were in the hospital once Ross reluctantly agreed to have Joey and Chandler bring babysitters for the day. Their day was going pretty good, but then two women left Ben alone on the bus and it drove away. He was tracked down at the Department of Human Services, but then the task of picking the right baby was just about managed, but they weren't planning on telling Ross about the situation. But when he was going to change Ben's diaper, he noticed a stamp of Property of Human Services was on the diaper. So, over at the Central Perk, which is the coffee shop they hang out at, Terry had told Rachel to pass on the message to Phoebe that she would no longer be singing in the coffee shop, and they were taking on a paid professional singer instead. So Rachel convinces Terry to let her sing after the professional agreed to. But when Phoebe finds out the other artist basically will be paid, she'll be working for free. So then she refuses, and then instead, in true anger, then Phoebe gets upset. And then she tries doing her song Smelly Cat. And then, as people are dropping 25 cents into a cup and saying, for her saying, smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Smelly cat, what a chore. Smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Smelly cat, what a chore. So basically, it's kind of like her just kind of crying down in hysterics, where she's just basically performing her own song, trying to go around, but a man then goes around the corner and asks what's wrong. And then Phoebe hands the condom that she found and runs off saying, "Hey, you got this." And then the man, who's now known to be the condom kid, is then short and then has a funny scene that hints toward the aptitudes for a comedy. Fans thought he was playing Frank Jr. Okay, his small part in season 2 has often been mistaken as a first appearance as Frank in the show. The Condom Kid, or the Condom Boy, as he was called, or affectionately nicknamed as, does seem to have a little bit of posthumous personality as Frank. It wasn't hard to believe that no qualms to be a stranger and basically be known as the Condom Kid or the Condom Boy and the condom he dropped. However, he wasn't Frank Jr., so that's confirmed years afterward. The two then separated characters. Then writer then on the show said, with executive producers of Friends, saying, "Speaking about getting those acting jobs," and then he said, they would call me up and say, "Come on in. Just come on in. You've got to throw the condom into it and be like, 'Hey, I'm the condom boy. Hey, I'm the condom kid.'" And then mainly focused on trying to do movies for a time and go, "Hey, what about that episode about the baby and the bus? Yeah, how about doing that?" So then honestly, I could have been very, very vague about this whole entire thing, but I wasn't. Interacting with Phoebe in season 2 actually could have been a small but memorable introduction to Frank Jr., considering the actor who played his character has a similar manner to later performances to also be Phoebe's brother. It wouldn't have been too out of place to say that he was Phoebe's half-brother, so this wasn't the only time he's also been in 2 different roles on Friends. Again, but it's interesting as he goes forward. Frank Jr. becomes a big part of Phoebe's life. Further on season 2, Phoebe and Frank Jr. officially met in an episode called One with the Bullies. Phoebe decided to meet her biological father, Frank Buffet, and when a small but aggressive dog keeps her, Joey, and Rachel stuck in their car, She then took matter to her own hands and then drives away and then runs the dog over. Phoebe took the dog to the veterinarian. Waiter returns it to the house, and she asked the woman that lived there if Frank was around. Woman shouts at her and says, yeah, possibly Phoebe's father, her biological father. And then the two work out the situation and be like, are they related? Yes, they're related. And so that's where the real story begins. The real father of Phoebe. And then it's interesting. So then, Phoebe and Frank, their relationship is significant to the part of Friends where mostly Phoebe's life is all around trying to be like her family is so complicated. So she longed to have a familiar relationship like her friends. Frank helped Phoebe do that, and both the actors on screen. The sibling chemistry works so effortlessly, fans could see similarities between the characters. Evidently, they met each other on other stuff too, but although it seemed that Phoebe had met her brother in early stages of season 2, he is simply a passer kid. So, whilst it could also be a memorable introduction to why Frank was so popular in season 2 of Friends, and why he had much positive behind the scenes anecdotes after the fact.